Hello everyone. This video took way too long to make and I really apologize. So today I'll be teaching a tutorial on my version of Reckless by Madison Beer on the ukulele. If you want to see my performance, I'll link it in the description box below and link a card to that video. I will link a sheet of the lyrics with the chords underneath it all, just so you can follow along once you understand the strumming pattern and the finger picking pattern. So what you're gonna need is a ukulele, really, and a capo. For pre-setup, all you need to do is have the capo on the 3rd fret. Now, fun tip here, I recommend putting the capo as close to that end as possible while still being on the 3rd fret, because you're gonna want to have as much wiggle room for your fingers, because we will be playing many different chords. I thought this would be easiest if I teach you it by section. So I'm going to have timestamps, and also I will try to do the chapter thing where you can see on the bar below which part I'm teaching which part. Also, please be sure if you have any questions to put them in the comment section. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into this tutorial. Alright, so let's begin by learning how to play the verses. I will be teaching chords first and then the picking pattern. First chord we're going to learn is C major. Next is a C major 7 chord. The next chord is a C7 chord. Next, F major. And then G major. Those are the chords for the verse section, and that is the order in which they appear. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into finger pattern. All right, we're gonna call this finger 4, this one 3, this one 2, this one 1. What we're gonna do is we're gonna place these fingers. The thumb is gonna be assigned to the top string, pointer to the 2nd string, 3rd to this string, and then the 4th to the bottom string. So again, this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that you have each finger assigned to each one, here's the finger pattern. We're gonna be plucking 1 and 4 at the same time, and then 3, and then 2. So now that that is set and complete, we're going to be playing the first 3 chords, which is C major 7, and C7 with that finger pattern, and you're going to play the rotation of that finger pattern 4 times for each chord. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, when we get to our F major chord, only 2 times. And then when we play the G chord, you're just gonna strum once. So our final thing should look like this. Hey, this is a story I hate. And telling it might make me break, but I'll tell it anyway. This chapter's about, and so on and so forth. So that's how you play the verse. Alright, next up is the pre-chorus. The chords we're going to need in this section are C major 7, G major, D minor, and F minor. And this is the chord that needs a little wiggle room, so that's why I suggest moving this capo as far that way as you can, because it is a little tricky to play when you have this in the way. Bars. Strumming pattern. I'm not gonna lie, I don't create a strumming pattern when I make these covers. I just kind of go for it. So it was kind of hard going back to decipher what I was doing. I figured out what I did, but I do want to put a disclaimer and say this was just a general guideline of the strumming pattern I was following. I wasn't completely following it strictly, if you know what I mean, but this was the pattern that I had set my thing around. What I'm trying to say is don't take the strumming pattern too strictly, you know, play around with it. If you kind of miss a little strum here or there, that's completely fine as long as you have the main downbeat. So with that being said, let's just get into it. My strumming pattern is this. It's gonna be down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Again, I didn't follow this strictly, but the most important thing that I did that was like the same the whole way through is that I got those main down strums on each downbeat. Faster, this is how I played it. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. That was that. Now, with the chords, we're just gonna follow this order or wherever I end up putting it on the screen. This strumming pattern, we'll call that one rotation. We'll be playing 2 rotations for the first 3 chords of this pre-chorus. So it'll be like this, starting with the first chord, which is C major 7. And then on this last chord, the F minor, I just played 1 singular strum. So now all together with the lyrics, it'll sound like this. I still have the letter you wrote when you told me that I was the only you'd ever want in your life. 'Cause my friends were right. Again, I probably didn't do the strums perfectly under that thing I just told you, but that's okay. Feel free to stick to it strictly if that works better for you. But if you can't get it completely or you change it up like I do automatically, just naturally, that is completely fine. Because that's how I did it. Okay, chorus time. This one is hefty because the order is funky. The strumming pattern for the chorus has stayed pretty much the same since the pre-chorus. So if this is 1 rotation, we're going to do 1 rotation per chord in this section. So we'll break up the chorus into 2 sections because there's a lot. So section 1, we're going to be doing the chords D minor, G major, C major, F, and we're also going to need C7. This will be the order for the first section. So if this was the strumming pattern down here, we are going to play 1 rotation of that per chord pretty much. So it goes like this. That's section 1. A little tip to throw in there is the second time you're kind of playing those phrases when it's leading from the C major 7 to the C7, on that part, you know, you can kind of put in some more emphasis because this is the build up, you know? That's the next part. So the next part, this is the C7 is going to lead right into an F major. And so I kind of leave it off, but I come right back when the next down beat comes. So this is the next section of learning the chorus. The chords we'll need: F, G, C major 7, and A minor. Those are the chords in this section. And this will be the order. We start off with that F major chord, and I do like a instead of a. So this part of the strumming pattern is basically just like X'd out for this chord only in this section. So from there we go right to a G major chord. So now this part is interesting because if this is 1 rotation, we're gonna slice it in half. So each of those chords are going to be half of this strum pattern. We're going to do this. Right? It's only those 2 chords that get half of that strumming rotation. And from there, the last little bit for this section, we're going to play a simple F major, 1 strum, and then 1 strum for the G, and then 1 strum for the C major 7. This whole section 2 should sound like this. And so now, when we put section 1 and section 2 together, this is the entire chorus. Each day goes by and each night I cry. Somebody saw you with her last night. You gave me a word, don't worry about her. You might love her now, but you left me first. Said you'd never hurt me, but here we are. Oh, you swore on every star. How could you be so reckless with my heart? Yes! Alright, so now we're going to learn how to play the bridge. The bridge comes after we play the chorus the second time. So we're going to go right back to the end of the chorus and what that looks like, because that's going to transition us into the bridge. As you would remember, we have those 3 1-strum chords at the end of the chorus, which is the F major, G major, and the C major 7. The second time you do the chorus, you're going to go the C major. We're going to do this rotation again, except X this part out. So this is what it's going to sound like. And from there, let's learn the chords for this section. You're going to need to play an A7, D minor, G major, and a C major. So those are the chords in this section. So right from this, we're going to hop right from this C major 7 right into that A7. And the A7 is just going to be our basic normal strumming pattern that has been there for the pre-chorus and the chorus. So it'll sound like this. Yes. After we play that A7, we're going to play D minor and then G minor, the regular rotations. So D minor, G major. Now, we're going to play that half rotation again for these chords. So these next 4 chords will be those half rotation strumming patterns. So it'll be like this. C major 7, G major, A minor, A7. And then next, we're just going to do regular strumming pattern for the D minor and G again. And then our last bit of the bridge is going to be 2 rotations of a C major 7 chord. And that's the bridge. So all together, I will sing for you what the bridge sounds like. I'm going to start by that end of the second chorus, so it just makes more sense. So how could you be so reckless with my heart? How could you be? That's the bridge. Last but not least, our outro. This is basically just a different version of how to play the verse. I just kind of tweak it a little bit to give it a nice outro. So it's pretty much the same as the verse. So I'll play until we change it a little bit. So it'll be like this. Hey, this is a story I hate, but I told it to cope with the pain. I'm so sorry if you can relate. And instead of playing that G just one time, we are going to do this. We only have 2 more chords left and then we're done. So it's going to be a G major and then we're going to do a C7. So it's going to be the 1 and 4 together again. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So again. And then our last chord is just one singular strum, which is just the C major 7 chord. And that is the song. It was a hefty tutorial because I did make it complicated. I would love, absolutely love to hear your renditions of my version. I appreciate all the love that you've given me for my rendition of this song. I find it so heartwarming that so many of you have asked to learn the way that I arranged it, I guess, on the ukulele. Again, leave your questions in the comments. I will try my best to respond. I am going to put the regular sheet with just the chords over the words in the description box below, as I said in the beginning. Also, let me know what you want me to cover next, and if you like that, then I can teach a tutorial on that as well. And I'll just see you all next time. So thank you and goodbye.